September 12th, 2010 was a Sunday. It actually started off as a pretty good day. I ran some errands that morning. My grandparents were in from out of town for a visit. We went out and had a meal together. When I got back to my apartment that night, I received a phone call. My cousin called to tell me that earlier that evening, my father had excused himself from the dinner table, went into his bedroom, and stuck a gun in his mouth. At just 50 years old, my father had decided to take his own life. According to the World Health Organization, a life ends by suicide every 40 seconds. Think about that. By the time you are done watching this, about 10 people will have made the decision to end their lives. My hope is to persuade everyone who sees this that we can drastically reduce this figure if we all take the time to become more aware of suicide prevention methods. Every year, suicide claims more lives than war, murder, and natural disasters combined. Yet suicide prevention doesn't get near the attention or funding given to other leading causes of death. According to the Center for Disease Control, 42,000 Americans killed themselves in 2013. Almost 500,000 people were treated for self-inflicted injuries in United States emergency departments that same year. These numbers only continue to rise and don't even reflect the people who have suicidal thoughts, make attempts without seeking services, or factor in the millions of others around the world. You can help to reverse these trends by recognizing the signs and symptoms of suicidal individuals and intervening before it's too late. The first step is to dispel common misconceptions associated with suicide. People who talk about suicide won't really do it. They're not willing to get help. They're crazy. These are all very common misconceptions. The truth is, almost everyone who commits suicide has given some sort of clue or warning. Studies have shown that more than half had sought medical help in the 6 months prior to their deaths. According to the SAVE Foundation, most people are not psychotic, but suffer from emotional pain and extreme distress. The second step is recognizing the signs and symptoms. Major warning signs for suicide include talking about killing or harming oneself, talking or writing about death and dying, or seeking out things that could be used in a suicide attempt, such as weapons or drugs. The signals are even more prevalent if the person suffers from a mood disorder, such as depression or bipolar disorder, if they have a drug or alcohol dependence, if they've made an attempt before, or have a family history of suicide. Research shows that by raising awareness, significant loss of life can be prevented. There are numerous foundations and organizations that offer education and resources for suicide prevention. These groups offer not only intervention methods and crisis hotlines, but testimonials of people that would not be here today had someone not recognized their cries for help. After recognizing these signs and symptoms, taking action can be the difference between life and death. A suicidal person may not ask for help, but that doesn't mean they don't want it. Most people who commit suicide don't want to die. They just want to stop hurting. If you think someone you know is considering suicide, you may be intimidated or afraid to talk to them about it. But talking openly about this issue may be the very thing that saves them. Speaking up, offering help and support, seeking out professional intervention, and reacting quickly are all steps anybody can take to prevent suicide. I encourage each and every one of you to educate yourselves on suicide prevention, become more aware, and help raise awareness in your communities. My father never got to meet my little boy. He never saw me become a soldier. He never realized how much his not being here would leave a hurt and pain that will never go away. I would give anything for just 5 more minutes with him, to hug him, tell him how much I love and miss him, and to make sure he knew just how special he was. Please, if someone you know shows any suicidal signs or symptoms at all, don't hesitate. Get them the help they need. There are so many great resources in your schools, at your place of employment, online, and in your community to get suicide prevention education. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit afsp.org today and learn how you can save a life.